guys, my name is Philomèna and welcome to another episode of Good Vibes. And I hope that you are inspired, informed, entertained and encouraged in today's episode because I've got a fabulous guest here with me, beautiful Heather. Welcome to today's show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're delighted. The pleasure is mine. So today's episode, I wanted to actually title it Embracing Opportunities and Discovering Potential. Yeah, because my beautiful friend Heather here wears so many hats. She's a mother, she's a teacher, and she's a vlogger and content creator recently. So she's just embraced this whole thing that is new and foreign to her. And so I want to pick her brains and just also just listen to some of really good creative ideas that she has. Heather, I know I have not done your due diligence in just describing you. I know to me you're a phenomenal friend. That's probably just like what I would want to say. But how would you describe yourself and tell us a little bit about even the Classic Approach platform where you vlog?
Okay, it's hard to know how to describe myself because I'm on the inside looking out, obviously. So yeah, I've got this platform, this YouTube channel, A Classic Approach, and I started it about a year ago. And it was really on the prompting of my daughter because I've always loved fashion and styling. That's something that has just always been there. And then she just basically said, Mum, you should also just start your own channel. It sort of started in the background, I guess, because I was looking to create a curriculum for school on fashion science. So it was really looking at the elements of style and teaching, say, year 9s and 10s as an elective. So that's really how it started. But that didn't come to fruition. But I'd probably say that 70% of the work that I did in creating that program, I could then translate into my channel. So it was actually, I don't see it as wasted at all. It was really just part of the brainstorming that you do. So then I launched my channel about a year ago, and this first year has really been about introducing myself. So first of all, I went through all the different items in my wardrobe. So I started with shoes, then skirts, and then pants or trousers and shirts, etc. And just talked about really my wardrobe and what I've learned over the years about style, about what suits me. Obviously, I'm one person, so I can't represent everybody, but I have learned how to work within my limitations and to focus on my positives, and then obviously then trying to hide my flaws, which I don't know if I hide my flaws.
I don't see it. Yeah, and we are talking about, embracing opportunities and then in that you discover potential. And what I see is a passion that you have. You say, like, every time I see you, you're dressed elegantly and classy, just like your name is A Classic Approach. And yes, so I know that fashion is your passion, and a lot of people out there sometimes really can't see where opportunities are lying, or like it would be hard just to get themselves out of that space where they're feeling a little bit empty about themselves. How would you say passion plays a role in sort of like paving a way for yourself and creating some of those opportunities?
I think it's a couple of things. Like I think your passion is unique to you. Everybody knows what they're passionate about. It doesn't have to have a purpose. It doesn't even have to be something that you can automatically see it translated into something. Just think about what you are passionate about. And then I think the opportunity comes from maybe passion and preparation. I do think that preparation is an important part. So if you can just start to get yourself skilled up in some things, you don't have to be an expert, but maybe just start to actually read up and learn about some skills that when an opportunity presents itself, then you're ready for it. And then of course there's more growth ahead as well.
Yeah. You're so open to start something new. When it started to be hard, or when you found like difficult times, and not specifically only to this, like in your own life, like when you find it hard, what are those areas that you kind of glean in to get encouraged and strengthened from, to help you just to say, no, I'll stay on the path? Or
I think sometimes we also have to admit that we are in out of our depth, and I think that's okay. It's good to actually take an inventory and just say, I like these parts of what I'm doing, but I don't really like those parts. And then maybe with those parts that you don't like, either outsource them to somebody else or upskill. Or slowly sort of move yourself and position yourself so that that thing that you don't like or not good at is not important in what you do. But I think you've always got options. I think that's the important thing to remember.
I like that. I like when you said outsourcing, because sometimes we think you've got to do it all together, and forgetting that we are a collective species and we cannot work by ourselves. We need those connections.
I think so. And I think you find your people. I think passion helps you to find your people.
Yes, it's going back to the passion, following your passion.
I think so. And I think what I've learnt along the way as well is whenever you're dealing with anything like a process, which all of this is, anything multimedia, creating, it is actually a process. It's not necessarily a product. It's not about how much you know. It's about your willingness to learn. And I think what I've learnt is to be comfortable with asking questions and just saying, look, I actually don't know that. And I think flipping that on its head, and rather than thinking, oh, I have to be an expert in this already, I have to be at this level of competence, but rather just think, okay, I have questions, and you need to ask the right questions and not be embarrassed, and not to think, oh, this is a stupid question, because really the only stupid question is the one that you don't ask.
Yeah, that's beautifully said, Heather. And so in this world, sometimes where people feel like they've got to fight for opportunities, I mean, that's not what we feel. We feel like we are all uniquely made, and in this whole world there's enough for everyone, and their opportunities can be met. How can you encourage people that are feeling stifled, or sometimes like like maybe they don't know where to find themselves? How would you encourage them generally in life?
Well, I am a mother of 3 daughters, and they are all unique, and so it's about knowing how to bring out, I know my girls, and I know what each of them, what their strengths and weaknesses are, and what their dilemmas are in life. And I just see that as part of my role as a mum, is knowing how to encourage them. And also, I think as a friend, I do see myself as a bit of an encourager, and I like to think that I would do that with my friends, although I don't know if I do it as much as I would like to, because my friends are very self-sufficient. But I think that encouragement is something that we need a lot more in this life. And I think what your channel stands for is to encourage. And I think even just listening to motivational speakers, I've really started washing myself a lot more with really motivational channels, and people who really have proven themselves to be successful. They have a lot of wisdom to share. So I just think whatever your need is, just reach out and maybe subscribe to a few inspirational channels as well. And just even if you have it in the background, it's amazing what somebody will say. Like this morning, for example, before I came here, I was listening to a speech that Barack Obama gave to a graduating class. And one thing that he said really resonated with me. He said, don't let your failures define you. Let your failures teach you. And I thought just that simple word, from identity to teach, allow it to be a teaching moment. Be humble enough to say, I will accept the feedback, and I will deconstruct what went wrong, This is not the end of the line. This is just a point in the journey, and I will use whatever I learn from this, and then going forward it will be a platform for more success. And every successful person does actually say that in a nutshell, is that I learnt a lot from that failure. Rather than thinking, okay, that's it, I'm done now, I can't do anything more. You that kind of thinking is not growth mindset thinking. You know, we do have ups and downs in life, and so I just think, you know, having the opportunity to be able to listen to people who are actually motivational is really powerful.
Another thing that I find inspiring that I am learning from you is your organizational skills. Because I am not organized. But you're so organized, you're so orderly, and you show up with your true self in everything, well organized. And how do you manage to kind of just have all of these things in order? What's your thought process that could help somebody like me?
I think it's just the way that I am. I do remember when I was 15 and sitting in a science class and then first introduced to the periodic table of elements, and to me the order of that, it was like my heart skipped a beat. It was literally like an aha moment for me. So I think intrinsically that is something that I do like. I do like order and structure, and obviously I'm very scientifically minded, and I think that is something that just resonates with me.
Okay.
And also it's part of my training as well, I think, in just, you know, what I do for a living. And I've also got a librarian qualification, so learning about the Dewey Decimal System, about the storage and retrieval of information, same sort of thing. I think that just really resonated with me. I think being a mother as well, so I think it's a couple of layers on there that have reinforced what I already was, plus then having formal training. I think it's a combination of those things. I always feel a lot more relaxed when I've set up a system.
So Heather, who would you say are your greatest inspirations in life?
In life, in general? Wow. Okay.
Or even towards this, I don't know, towards your, what's your inspiration? What gets you inspired?
I think it's the creativity of it. It's the fact that you can take these basic elements and just mix and match, and they can look different from day to day, and they can look different from person to person. And that's really why I called my channel A Classic Approach, because I really do think that classic pieces, they've stood the test of time, like a nice polo neck jumper, a trench coat, a pair of jeans, a nice pair of shoes, a lovely structured handbag. And those elements will always be the foundation of anyone's wardrobe. And my style icons, I think, would be Audrey Hepburn, Jacqueline Kennedy, Jacqueline Onassis, who else? Sophia Loren, Marilyn Monroe. Surprisingly, Marilyn Monroe. I just think that when you have a very certain identity, I think it can be so powerful, is that it's like your signature, but it's also a way of even connecting with other people, and to be able to then just celebrate who you are, and it being okay to just be that person. I think dressing a certain way, dressing in a way that's true to you and for the occasion, can really be quite powerful.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love your heart. I just love how you deliver everything. But your heart is so beautiful. And when you talked about staying true to yourself in this whole process, because it is a process. So if you whatever it is that you want to do in life, whatever it is, what path is leading you, authenticity is a good thing. How have you coped in difficult situations and marrying your passion and all of these things that you kind of are a package of who you are? How have they helped you in times where you're maybe not feeling your true self?
I think obviously we share the same faith, so I think just believing in God and praying, and I think that helps enormously, just knowing that God is the foundation of our life, and you know, He brings the answers even in situations where it seems like there is none. So I think just having faith and having a hope, that is enormous. And then I think too, a lot of it is like a muscle. Faith is a muscle, and the more you use it, then the stronger it gets. So I think if you build up a bit of a track record of going through difficulties and coming out the other side, then that momentum and that memory can then help you with the next challenge. You just think, well, God has been faithful in the past, and I know that He will continue to be faithful even in the future. So I think whatever it is that means to you, if you have faith, and you know what I mean, or if you're just able to tap into some strength, then I think that is what can get you through the hard times.
And also remembering that the hard times are part and parcel of your journey, and staying on topic of embracing opportunities and tapping into your potential as well. Like in the midst of all that greatness around your life, there's a richness that's coming out which you might not know it, but because it's part and parcel of your life, it's preparing you even for greater, like maybe opportunities that have come, come forth.
And I think whenever you know if you're feeding on negativity, it's because you feel worse. I think if something motivates you and it inspires you, then you know you're on a winner. So I think it's really about being reflective is really important, I think. Just being really honest with yourself and saying that didn't go so well. And I do have areas that I need to work on in my life. But I think to have the growth mindset and to actually think about it in a positive, vibrant way, I just think that is the key to happiness and success. And peace.
And we've spoken about this, but even reinforcing it more, that's where you need to have people around you that will support you.
Absolutely. You do need to have people who really are in line with who you are, and who they can encourage you as well. I think that encouragement is something that moves. It's not just one way, it's something that can go both ways. Like, you've really encouraged me today, just what you've said. That's so lovely, and I don't know if you realise how meaningful it is to me, but it really is. It's something that I really appreciate hearing.
All right, so here on Good Vibes, we want people to be inspired, to be informed, to be encouraged and entertained. What's all your last words? It doesn't have to be like cover everything, but what would be your last messages for our viewers?
Please like and subscribe and turn on all notifications.
Hear that?
Because what Philomèna is doing is wanting to grow a community, and so just join her community, and then you'll always get her videos, and then you will be encouraged, entertained, inspired and informed on a continual basis.
And please to subscribe to A Classic Approach. Also on YouTube. It is a wonderful platform that will help you with some of those ideas and how to just bring some pieces together. Alright, thank you so much, Heather, for coming here today. It's been lovely just chatting to you, but every day I'm with you. Every time I spend with you, I feel like I just gain a lot more. You just lighten up my day. And so thanks for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's really been great. We should do this again.
We should do this again. So till next time. Bye.